And joining us now from the North Central African country is Arise special correspondent Carl Bostic. Carl, good to have you join us. Bring us up to speed with happenings where you are. And do you get any sense of apprehension there?
Yes, good afternoon. Right now I'm standing in the middle of one of the main markets in Djambe. It's the Dembe market or Dembe Marché. And actually there's a lot of apprehension and anxiety here in this market despite all the activity you see behind me. If this is activity that seems to be bustling, it's not really bustling as much as before. In other words, for the past few days, the market was closed entirely like all the other shops in the capital itself because of the death of Idris Deby. This is the first day that the markets reopened. However, business is down. People are very nervous, are very anxious, because while you did have the showing of support from France's Emmanuel Macron and the heads of state from 10 countries that attended the ceremony yesterday for Idris Deby. In fact, Macron met with them afterwards, and their appearance was obviously meant to show symbolically their support for the younger Deby, that's Mohamed Deby Itno, showing support not only for his leadership, but also support for the leadership of the military council, even though the Constitution strictly calls for the next line of succession to be the Speaker of the Parliament. So that's why some political opposition and the rebels are saying this is a coup d'etat or a coup, but this is unconstitutional. But the message from Macron was that, or at least from analysts, especially French analysts, are saying right now, from France's point of view, they prefer unconstitutional stability than a messy transition, even if it's going to mean a rule by military leadership for the next 18 months. But to give you an idea, again, just how people feel, we have been speaking with some shop owners here, and people are also nervous because it's also Ramadan. Like I was just speaking with one shop owner right now. This is Abu Zain. Venez-vous ici, Abu Zain, merci pour parler avec nous, mais en anglais. Can you explain to us how you feel right now?
Oh, I'm shocked. We are so shocked. We lost our leader, our president. We lost our Spider-Man. I'm feeling like that.
And that is how people are feeling.
You know that all the people feeling that we lost our president, our strong man. No, the president Idris Deby is a strong man. We lost our leader, you know.
Are you optimistic then about what comes next? Are you optimistic about the future or what?
Why not? I'm so optimistic because Mohamed now Deby is the young boy. He can do anything that we want. You know, we're so optimistic.
And also, this is Ramadan, but this is a very important time of the year for Muslims. And then you have Ramadan and then Eid. People should be celebrating. Is this Ramadan a different Ramadan for the Muslims here in Chad?
Yes, so different because this Ramadan is so difficult Ramadan. We lost our leader, and you know that the last Ramadan is the last of the COVID-19, of the coronavirus, and now we lost our president. Now it's so hard. Our situation is so hard. It's so hard now. It's so difficult for all the people Chadian.
Abu Zain.
Yes.
Abu Zain, thank you very much for your time. We greatly appreciate and best of wishes for everything. Well, you just heard from some of the people here who are living and working here about how much they revered the leader Idris Deby Itno, and in the uncertainty they face, but they still have their own optimism about what comes next. But it's difficult to bear, especially at this time of year when it's Ramadan. It's hard to celebrate at this time of year when you've got all these crises happening at the same time, politically, militarily, even economically.
Still talking about political issues here, Carl. Are there signs the opposition in Chad may have a role to play in the transition period and perhaps encourage a sense of unity among the political class in that country?
Well, that's what's interesting, because there is a call for inclusiveness. But let's look at it this way. Just by the appearance of France's President Emmanuel Macron and the 10 heads of states, they're saying in so many words, we support this military council. We support this transition period. And we support this young leader. And what they're saying is that we don't want to interfere with what they need to do. Obviously, there are other pressures here domestically. There's political opposition here where the political opponents are saying that this goes against Chad's constitution. Then you've got the rebel forces who have threatened to advance defense on the city. They're about 190 miles outside of the city. The rebel commander, that's Muhammad Makti Ali, he's even said he's willing to, quote, negotiate with them to make sure there's more inclusiveness. So despite the cries for inclusiveness from rebel groups, from political opponents, despite all of that, it still remains to be seen whether or not the military council will listen to them or not. The biggest worry right now is if there will be a renewal of fighting. If there's a renewal of fighting, more chaos will follow. And if that goes to that extent, that's where France will step in. France has intervened before when there's been conflicts like this. But the reason why Chad is so important also for the region, it's got arguably perhaps the toughest, best trained military army in the sub-Saharan African region, if not all of Africa. And right now, Chad troops are actually being used to be deployed to other neighboring countries, ranging from Mali, Niger, and other countries to fight extremists and jihadists. And now, if the situation worsens here, those thousands of Chadian troops will have to be called back to Chad to secure the government, and that could actually destabilize the neighboring countries.
And Carl, talking about any renewal of fighting, Debi's son, Mohammed, a four-star general, by the way, is in charge for the next 18 months until elections are held. What do we know about his competencies?
Well, that's the problem. That's why this is like uncharted territory. Because let's look at it this way. This is someone who's been the only leader that most Chadians have known, 31 years. Most of the population here, the majority of the population, they've only known him as the leader. That's a problem right there. That's a void. Here you have a 37-year-old who doesn't have the military experience and reputation that his father had, who doesn't have the political credentials that his father had. What he has is the backing from Western powers such as France and this military council. The problem is keeping the military united behind him. He's untested. That's the concern right there. But that show of support is meant to bolster him. Secondly, finally, they don't rule out the possibility of extending these 18 months, if necessary, before elections. That's the worry and concern, that he may try to hold on to rule.
Indeed, those are, interesting facts there. Carl, just before you go, a quick question here. What do you make of the sense of anticipation on the parts of people themselves regarding the 18-month transition period? Do they have confidence in it?
I think because of the uncertainty, they just simply want stability and peace. Because right now the economy is taking a hit. Just to give an example, the biggest trade union in Chad, that's the Syndicat Travailleurs de Chad, they are now declaring a strike. They're declaring a strike. The political opposition has told people not to go to work until this military council is changed. So because of this uncertainty, there are chaotic conditions could actually escalate. So in short, there's not as much confidence right now. They're very apprehensive about what's coming next. It's really day to day now following, especially after the funeral of Idriss Déby Itno.
Carl Bostic, Arise special correspondent in N'Djamena, Chad. Many thanks for your insights.